Welcome. For 5 minutes here, I'm going to give everyone a chance to join. This used to be on Periscope, but I moved it to YouTube Live because of some technical difficulties. So the name also changed from ZulloScope to ZulloTube. I have one rule during these. I stop for questions. So anytime that you have a question, please do not hesitate. I take notes to get back on track if there is a question that I do want to respond to immediately. This my goal is real conversation here. Like having if we were on the street. So just anything, just to watch. You visit ZulloTube.com live.html or follow the pinned link on at ZulloTube on Twitter. Visit ZulloTube.com for some notifications, both email and text messages of upcoming conversations like these. Check out my book, The End is Near, Save Us. There's a battle for the soul of our nation. Do money and ignorance rule, or will science and tolerance prevail? If you're not watching live, just fast forward until you see my face. That's when I am starting this. This is a test broadcast. I'm getting used to the system here and on YouTube and how it works. So I'm going to go over this one more time. There is no lineup here. Ask questions anytime, please. So again, for the first couple minutes here, I'm going to let everyone join. I was doing this on Periscope, but now it is YouTube Live because of some technical difficulties appearing in the stream. I have one rule. I stop for questions. So any questions, please ask. Just log on to a desktop and there's a chat window to the right. I have notes to get back on track because of that. My goal is to have a real conversation here just about politics, just outside of the mainstream. To watch, visit ZulloTube.com live.html or follow the pin link in at ZulloTube on Twitter. Also, you can visit ZulloTube.com and get email and text notifications of upcoming episodes. Check out my book, The End is Near, Save Us. There's a battle for the soul of our nation. Do money and ignorance rule, or will science and tolerance prevail? A lot of what I talk about is related to that and the overall snapshot of where America is. Check out the reviews on Amazon, some great reviews. Some very good people went through the book and they left some fantastic reviews. If you're not watching live, you can just fast forward to the point where you do see me. And that means that this has started. I just start this a few minutes early so everyone can get joined and they can log into the system. So just give them a few more minutes. I'm going to retweet it one more time so people have the links. Again, thank you for joining me. And this is ZulloTube, previously ZulloScope. You watch this from ZulloTube live.html. If you are, again, not watching this live and watching this in my channel, just fast forward to the point where you see my face, and that is the point where we've begun. This is a test broadcast. I don't really have a rundown tomorrow. I am doing a topic of environment. I have done Obamacare and income inequality. If you do check my channel, and you will see it there. So we're going to get started in about 30 seconds here. This is the YouTube live system. If you missed the introduction and you're just joining, this will be posted into my videos in my channel at ZulloTube. Again, thank you for joining me, and we're about to get started here. Good evening. Yes, I'm going to wear the glasses for these broadcasts, try to keep with the brand of my Twitter profile picture. There isn't really a schedule for this evening, so if you do, I'm hoping to get some questions and you ask them in YouTube Live. So today's news. I think the big news that we've all seen is Donald Trump went to Mexico. There was no wall that stopped him from getting there. He made it. He probably flew over it. He didn't probably drive over it, although, I did not pay attention to that detail. But these PR stunts, rather than talking about the overall issues of immigration or the real crux of the problem here, watching him when he was giving the after the meeting release, he looked awkward with the other president. He looked like he was just trying to force a conversation. This is not his element. He doesn't really know what plays on the stage here and how people like to react and what is formal. We need formal leadership. So and then it was also funny after he left, the Mexican president said that the first thing that he said in the meeting, he's mentioned the wall and that he would not pay for it. Trump did not mention that, of course. Now, when you're talking about the wall, let's first talk about immigration on the Mexican border. What we have a lot is agriculture workers, primarily crossing for better wages. They're not rapists. They're not the drugs don't come across on people's backs and mules across the border. That's going through underground tunnels and intricate systems across a vast variety of networks, even through the border crossings themselves, not really through places that there is no wall in these remote areas. You can't really carry anything there. These, again, are just agriculture workers looking for better wages. When looking at immigration, the real issue that we hear is there's 9 million mixed citizenship households in this country. So that means that when we're talking about this issue, it hits really close to home. I mean, it's really unrealistic to deport, people that are neighbors, that are part of our lives, that work in our local economies that we know and we love. When looking at Trump's immigration plans of walls and deportations at their minimums, you're looking at costs of around $600 billion and the reduction of consumer GDP of $1.6 trillion. This would most certainly push us down, our economy down into another recession. To really fix illegal immigration, you have to look to curb visa overstays and the things like that you're hearing about with these Trump models where they abuse the system. Over half again of illegal immigration comes from that issue. And then I find it awfully curious that Donald Trump and Republicans have ignored that Democrats passed bipartisan immigration reform as 744. It would have secured the border with technology, crossings, walls in the sections. It would have created 3.2 million jobs. And, both of these, and Republicans ignore that. They completely obstructed that issue. So we are trying to fix this. I challenge them to pass that law, and you'd see this. Look to the visa oversight systems. This fear-mongering talking point about Syrian refugees and terrorism right now. A lot of these Syrian refugees are single mothers and children who have lost their husbands in this Syrian war here. So that's just an inflammatory talking point that's used to stoke your fears. Ronald Reagan himself, he let in over 100,000 communists during the Cold War. These people could have been spies in and of themselves. I'd like to say overall that xenophobia and intolerance, they create more terrorists. They don't really solve terrorism. So I haven't gotten any questions yet. I do like questions. If you are, I see a group of people logged on. If you are logged on, please ask some questions. Now, some today news that I find interesting. These health conspiracies and how the media outlets are now paying attention to it on both sides. I find it ludicrous with the stuff they're saying about Hillary Clinton, both on Twitter and media. She was cleared in 2013 by her doctors. She's walking around in high heels, which is indicating that her balance is there at the same time. The glasses that a lot of people are talking about, their war for double vision, which is a side effect of a concussion. So if she was doing this correctly, she takes a daily dose of preventative thyroid medication from what I've read. I find it awfully ironic that when you look at Trump's doctor and, everything that he has said, it looked like he put together his letter in 5 minutes, that it looked like it was the campaign language of what Trump's campaign has been using. And where has been the outrage in the media? They haven't had anything to say. Are these double standards? I want to read you one of my tweets in regards to emails. This email issue isn't a new issue. As we've evolved technologically and we've handled classified and sensitive data, and we've tried to navigate the crossroads of what is public versus what is transparent, what is illegal, classified, and not. This has been an issue overall. So I like to say that, a couple of key points. Clinton, she was allowed to use this email according to the Federal Records Act. There had been previous cases. I'm not sure if you've seen the tweet. Condoleezza Rice, she used personal email. It wasn't a private server, but it was personal email. Same with Colin Powell. Now, what was classified and not classified at the time? We're talking about pre-Iraq War intelligence. Were they passing along sensitive material about WMDs? Scott Walker used a private server. George W. Bush, and the RNC, they lost 22 million emails. What donor relationships were they navigating and negotiating there? Then you have Mitt Romney. He wiped and sold a government server when he left office. Jeb Bush, he obstructed, turning over emails after a long time. Chris Christie, he used a personal email that was he didn't turn it over after Bridgegate to be investigated. I find it funny when you investigate the Sarah Palin email scandal here. You find that overall she used a private server and had the same exact style of problems that Hillary Clinton had, and she sympathized with her. Mike Huckabee, he destroyed a government server after he left office, and Donald Trump himself 10 years ago purposely destroyed email evidence against a court order. So I find these double standards with the email, not saying that we shouldn't pay attention to what's going on and the relationships of what's classified or not, but the FBI and the IG reports really have found no wrongdoing. So now then looking at the foundations, like between the two foundations, Clinton and Trump foundations, 89% of the Clinton Foundation's funds are spent towards charity. They're A-rated by multiple watch organizations. There haven't been any Saudi donations or anything that they've claimed that are out of the ordinary, that are just meant to stoke her fears when she was in the State Department. And this money is going to things like AIDS work, things that are, overall that have been very positive. Trump's foundation, it's really a money-making scam overall, just like his campaign, how the campaign is renting out space in his hotels at 5 times the rate that it once was. Trump's foundation spends millions on society galas and golf for clients and celebrities. Those are donor private meetings. What goes on from there and what's promised on these. It was business deals. What will it be politics then? As Trump said, he's going to be closing down his foundations, separating his business ties while he's running for office, so there's no conflict of interest. And then his foundation has no transparency. It's a really a double standard I see across the board with the two. I haven't really gotten any questions, so it's winding down to 15 minutes, which is usually how long I like to go, and then the questions I like another 15 minutes from there in questions. Tomorrow night I will be talking about the environment, the same time, same place. You view at ZulloTube.com/live.html. And one more note, with the stuff, a couple of emails I've been hearing about Benghazi, 250,000 man hours with this. So many reports. There was no stand-down order given. This was a tragedy. It is time to let this rest. Stop using this for funding and politicking against each other. We slashed embassy funding when we should have been really pushing for heavy embassy funding across the board, and that is both parties' faults, and we need to change that for the future. Bush dealt with these before with embassy killings. This is not something that we play politics with. It's time to move forward with that. And again, Read my book, The End is Near, Save Us. There's a battle for the soul of our nation. Do money and ignorance rule, or will science and tolerance prevail? A lot of what I talk about in all of my ZulloTube broadcasts is in there. I appreciate you watching. Thank you, and have a good night. Again, these run for about 15 minutes on what I'm talking about, and then I look for questions to fill the other time. If I don't, 15 minutes is good. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. It's about the environment.